Ithongo kukucebisa nokukhuthaza abafundi ngokubaluleka kwemfundo, nokuhlonipha abazali, nokuhlonipha iititshala esikolweni. Ndiyalulutsha ngokwenjenje. Ndiyanilumkisa qabana ubukhosi bokungahloniphi abazali nokungahloniphi iititshala esikolweni. Bonani umzekelo wale ntsweka zeme phambi kwenu. Yona yabamamela abazali, yabeva. Yiyo le nto namhla ime phambi kwethu. Khula mthintini, sigawule!
It's been up for liyabukwa. Yada mhlangala endaweni yenywangi. Koti sagingelwa. Ndicakwe kukhala. Kuba mnandi indoda. Yifani kaloku uzizwe ndinivise. Yazini kaloku uzizwe ndinazise. Ngubani lowa? Ngusibhekuza obhekuza enkundleni. Amadoda azithekela. Ikhazi liyakaka kwimpundulu zabathakathi. Nguflexibility. Responsibility of the community as far as I'm concerned. Yinto enobuso butamtam ngathi zimpundu zomntwana. Amazinyo amhlophe njengekhefu lasezintabeni. Allow me to take some few words in British language as far as I'm concerned. Inyathikazi amajoboza, the buffalo of the nation. Namhla nivumelani ndithi kuye esakhe isikhahlelo. Abafazi bawuyiyizele xa ndimnika isikhahlelo. Emva kwam bayethe phala sozizwe phala. Sozizwe phala. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to motivate you and tell you how wonderful education. I can guarantee to you, my son, you can go to anywhere. You cannot open any door without education. Don't waste your time. Uhlafuna ithepisi esikolweni phambi kwatitshala. unyevule amkwamfundisi intsapho uphakame. Allow me to tell you something. A person omphakamelayo, she or he is well educated. What about you? What are you waiting for? Your parents decide to take money from nothing. Abanye abazali benu basebenza emakhitshini. Abanye abazali benu basebenza kumakwerekwere. Abanye abazali benu bahleli edotsheni badliwe zinyoka bezama ukufundisa nina. Xa nifika esikolweni nifike nihlalele emlilweni. Yini bantwana bam? Nidlela ntoni tyhufe le? Nibuthandelani utywala obu ningabantu abesikolo? Nilitshalela ntoni icuba esikolweni? Niwathandelani amakhwenkwe nisesikolweni? Nina makwedini nicinga uba siyibone le nto niyenzayo. Nizi-abusers of our sisters. Becca, as far as I know, a man is a protector of her or his sister. Ngosisi benu aba. What is that? Straight talk, take any friendship. And you too, Lihle, you make a big mistake, my son. Ubiza abantwana bodwa, uyekela makwakwe tishala. Athandana nabantu abesikolo esikolweni. Bheka Lihle, awunika isikhumkhojo mntanam ngoku. Uyabona Lihle? You are the son of the nation. You are the women of the world. Bakuni sifuna Professor Nkuhlu, the first chartered accountant in Southern Africa. Bakuni sifuna Goboto, the first women chartered accountant in Southern Africa. Yo, inamanyala impukane ngokuqeqeza abafazi bamaphela. Lihle, awazi uba kusikwa ndawoni mntanam. Kodwa today, I give you authority. Yonke itishala oke weva kuthiwa ithandana nomntana esikolweni. Uyondikhombisa. Ndizawujubela ndawo ikhathazayo Lihle. Ukwenzela uba ngaphinda athandane nabantu abesikolo. Hambani ke bafundi. We are here today to motivate you. We are here today to tell you. Unyaka usekuphakathini ngoku. Irizalthi esizilindeleyo zize zisakuse-yunivesithi. Akokuba uphumelelanga ngoku, I'm telling you, nothing. You are going to get nothing. You are the loser of the losers. You are the fact of the facts. Abazali bakho imali yabo imke namanzi. Mntanam, masihambe siye kweyantombazana. Yelo ke usiphulaphule Thixo ngobubele bakho ungisisini ngokomoya oyingcwele. Wabaphulaphulayo abazali bakhe yenze kuze yenyatha ematshoboza. Uyabona iyankwekwe imane kukhatha ithi yakuthanda umama intombi yakwanyatha bake ndahlangana nayo ndizoyijuba eyandawo ngoba iza kuphazamisa. You are the community developer. You are the community builder. You are the flexibility. You are the responsibility of the youth in Southern Africa. Tomorrow, you are going to the president of youth in Southern Africa. Yakotuka zindutsumba-ndini ezinye ngoku zize apha zifihla utywala kobhaka. Ndiyanixelela abantu bam, ndifunga ulihle ngakwemva kwam, ndifunga ulihle inyatha ematshoboza uzibhikuze into enomlomo mfamfam ngathi zizibhonje ezingekalali mntu. Ugazi liyakaka kwimpundulo uzabathaka unokuthi usiyamcekisa sakuhlabelela udbokeni. Yo 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 niyazithanda indawo.
All protocol is observed. Standing in front of you is Lihle Zilwa from Lihle High School, and I am here to do an introduction of the founder, the author, and the African Continent Award winner. Her mission is to motivate and to inspire 100,000 teenagers across the African continent. As the class of 2025, she went to the Wits University. As she went there to do the biomedical science, as she had always been interested in being a biomedical scientist. As the winner of the Youth Empowerment Champion of the Year 2025 for the African continent and the Next Gen Innovator of the Year, she found these awards as the responsibility and the calling to her to serve. As a result, she decided to take a break from school at the age of 19 years in order to help 100,000 teenagers across the African continent, in order to motivate them to believe in themselves and to chase their dreams while she can still connect with them. Her first community project was made at the age of 9 years, where she gave the school uniform to 30 learners in Pilena Primary School and benefited 594 learners. At the age of 13 in 2021, she found the Future Global Leaders Club NPC, a not-for-profit company for the high school learners with an average that is 70% and above, in order to motivate them to be consistent in their academic performance, to inspire them towards greatness, and to reward them for their academic performance. In 2022, she authored and published a book with more than 300 inspirational and motivational quotes. At the age of 17, she received the 2 African Continent Awards due to the positive impact that was made by her book and the Youth Empowerment Club. She is now the founder of Lihle's 100K Teens Challenge, and her motivational and inspirational messages have more than 20,000 viewers and social media platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hands together and give a powerful, warm welcome to the voice of the new generation, Miss BhasweLihle Zilwa. Thank
Enkosi kakhulu ngaloo mazwi akhuthazayo, and thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. Good morning, everyone. My name is BhasweLihle Zilwa, and I'm 18 years old. I'm 18 years old, and this year I have a very, very big vision. I want to motivate and inspire 100,000 teenagers across the African continent. I want to inject self-belief and ignite 100,000 teenagers' dreams into action. My journey in motivating and inspiring teenagers started when I was 13 years old, when I founded the Future Global Leaders Club, a not-for-profit company that is open for high school learners with an average of 70% and above across the country. And it has 3 objectives: to motivate and inspire them, to sharpen their excellence, and to reward and incentivize them for consistent academic excellence. And today, some of the members actually made it to the top 1% of the country. And they attribute that success to the motivation and the inspiration that they got from the club. Then in 2022, when I was 14 years old, I published Lihle's collection of motivational quotes for teens. It's been translated into French and Kiswahili, and most recently, it's been converted into Braille, because inspiration can be received either through touch or sight. The book had a positive impact on the teens and caused a massive mindset shift. And this is how I received the 2 African Continent Awards when I was 17 doing matric. The 2025 Youth Empowerment Champion of the Year and the Next Gen Innovator of the Year. I was very excited and I felt so honored and privileged to receive these awards. But to me, they were not just a personal achievement, but they were a responsibility and a call to serve. That is why this year, despite my admission at WITS to do biomedical sciences, I've decided to pause my studies and dedicate my 18th year to motivating and inspiring teenagers whilst I'm still relatable to them. I started this movement because I believe that one of the greatest challenges facing young people today is not lack of talent, ability, or potential. It is the lack of self belief. There are too many young people who have stopped believing in themselves. Too many young people who have allowed their circumstances, their challenges, or the opinions of others to convince them that their dreams are far beyond their reach. I am on a mission to change that. I am on a mission to inject self-belief into 100,000 teenagers and ignite their dreams into action. I am doing this through several initiatives. The first is through motivational and inspirational messages that I share on social media platforms as Lihle Speaks. Within the first 3 months alone, those messages have reached more than 120,000 views. The second pillar of the 100K Teens Challenge is the Teen Self-Belief Conferences. And today is a historical day because you are the very first learners to benefit from the Teen Self-Belief Conferences. Please give yourselves a big round of applause. Years from now, when this movement has reached thousands of young people across the African continent, it will be remembered that it started right here with you. This is why I want you to know something. I'm not here today simply to make a speech. I am here to motivate and inspire each and every one of you. Today, I want to inject self-belief into every learner present here. Today, I want to ignite all your dreams into action. I am here to remind you that your dream matters. Your future matters. And you matter. And my hope is that when you leave this conference today, you will leave believing more strongly in yourself than ever before. Mthatha, today is your day. Today is the day you choose to believe. Today is the day you choose to commit. Today is the day you choose your future. Please take a moment of silence to take this in and open your mind to receiving the motivation and inspiration that you will be gifted with today. Thank you. Now, now, are you ready? Are your minds ready and open to receive the inspiration so you can be a better version of yourself, irrespective of your circumstances? Yitani ewe. Are you ready? On analysis of the pre-registration forms, most of you told me the truth about your level of self-belief on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 representing the lowest level of self-belief. Most acknowledged that their self-belief is sitting at 1. Others acknowledged that it's sitting at 2. First of all, thank you so much for sharing your honest view of your self-belief. But most of all, I want to give you hope through a quote that is on page 93 of my book. It is my personal quote. And I actually want us to read it together. Page 93 of my book. Are we all there? Can you please stand up in order to take in the meaning of the quote with the seriousness that it deserves? It says, just as trees can grow tall in rough terrain, we too can be whoever we wish to be, irrespective of our backgrounds or circumstance. Now, can we read it again with more power? Just as trees can grow tall in rough terrain, we too can be whoever we wish to be, irrespective of our backgrounds or circumstance. Well done. You can sit down. Now, the reason your self-belief is low or less strong is expected. It is caused by the rough terrain that we find ourselves in. Our rough terrain includes the not employed, not educated, and not trained youth in Africa is the highest in the world at 60%. The youth unemployment rate is very high. The latest results by Statistics South Africa is showing that youth unemployment in the Eastern Cape for those aged between 15 to 24 is 54.3%. The youth labor force participation in the Eastern Cape is 39.8%, the lowest in South Africa. The school dropout rate shows an even gloomier picture. Out of 1 million learners enrolled for grade 8, only 600,000 make it to matric. This means 400,000 learners are defeated by self-doubt and circumstances they consider out of their control. Out of 100 learners who start grade 1, only 15 to 20 complete a university degree. There is crime, teenage pregnancy, poverty, and poor infrastructure to support your ambitions. What I have mentioned here is statistics. But in reality, this could be your unemployed father, your unemployed mother, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your aunt, or your relative that you rely on. And therefore, this to you is not statistics. It reflects your everyday struggles. Maybe there is not enough food on the table, no decent shelter, sick members of the family with unaffordable treatment, not enough materials for school, no Wi-Fi, no cell phone, no marks at school, no access to tutors, crime that deprives you of the little you have, cold winter nights, the world that does not understand your life struggles, and so on. If this affects you in any way, I am sending you my hugs. And I am telling you that losing self-belief under these circumstances is understandable. But don't give up. There is hope. In one of my school visits last year, one learner said that she had been going to school not really sure why, because all the people around her that went to school remain unemployed. There is crime, there is poverty, there is drugs. All of this was weighing her down, and she saw no future for herself. But when she received my book, she found this quote which helped her a lot. It says, "Ships do not sink because of the water that surrounds them. Ships sink because of the water that gets in them." Since reading this quote, she said she has learned not to let her surrounding circumstances get into her and weigh her down. She's now considering herself a ship that must cruise through them. Now she's going to school to change her life with a sense of purpose and not a sense of defeat. As a result, her academic performance has improved. Ladies and gentlemen, future leaders of our economy, let us all look into the quote that helped her on page 91 of my book, written by an unknown author. Let us all stand up and read it together. Are we all on the page? Right, I'd actually like a volunteer from any school that would like to lead us in reading this quote. Anyone?
I quote, 1212. Okay. I quote, ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that gets in them. Don't let what's happening to you, don't let what's happening around you get inside you and weigh you down. Unquote.
Thank, can you, thank you, thank you so much. Can you please now all read it with her together?
Ships don't sink because of the water around them. Ships sink because of the water that gets in them. Don't let what's happening around you get inside you and weigh you down. Unquote.
Thank you, thank you so much. Well done. Now, let us talk about self-belief. The analysis of all the testimonials received for the impact of my book has clearly shown that teens' dreams do not die because of lack of potential. They die because self-belief is lost. This is why the 100K Teens Challenge exists. The circumstances around you not only make you sad, but they can slowly rob you of self-belief and breed self-doubt that ultimately defeats. The difference between the learners who succeeded with the university degree and those that dropped out along the way was not their intelligence, not their beautiful life circumstances, but they remained on track and did not quit. They had an ability to deepen their self-belief. They continued to dream bigger beyond their circumstances. They were willing to work the hardest. They chose to persevere whatever challenges were thrown at them. They succeeded, and they are continuing to protect their self-belief every day. Therefore, our backgrounds do not define us. Only self-belief does. Before the world believes in you, you must first believe in yourself. Can you repeat this belief with me, with your right hand on your chest? Before the world believes in me, I must first believe in myself. Let's do it one more time. Before the world believes in me, I must first believe in myself. Well done, guys. But we must be aware that self-belief is attacked every day. Possible attacks to your self-belief include surrounding circumstances that cause your suffering, past failures, fear of failure, competitions, any form of discouragement, negative words that are thrown at you, negative thoughts, doubts, experiences of life. The list really is endless. Life can become difficult, really difficult. But if you still believe in yourself, you still have the power to rise again and again. All of you today need to understand the following and embed it in your hearts and minds. Self-belief is our wealth. Self-belief is our future. Self-belief is our greatest asset, and we must protect it against all possible attacks. Now, let me rephrase this for self-commitment. Self-belief is my wealth. Self-belief is my future. Self-belief is my greatest asset, and I must protect it against all possible attacks. Now, can you say it after me? Self-belief is my wealth. Self-belief is my future. Self-belief is my greatest asset, and I must protect it against all possible attacks. Well done, guys. Give yourselves a big round of applause. When you protect your self-belief, you do not give up on your potential. You continue trying. You continue learning. You continue growing. You continue seeing possibilities that others are yet to see. So every day, remind yourself, self-belief is my wealth. Self-belief is my future. Self-belief is my greatest asset, and I must protect it against all possible attacks. So now let's do a little exercise in pairs. I want you to shake the hands of the person sitting next to you and say to each other, deepen your self-belief. Now, say it with a stronger handshake and a louder voice. Now, again, shake the hand of the person sitting next to you and say to each other, protect your self-belief against all possible attacks. Now say it with a stronger handshake and a louder voice. Oh, you got it right, guys. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Now, let me touch on my guide to navigating success. When I was analyzing my collection of more than 300 inspirational and motivational quotes from successful people, including global icons, I noticed that within the quotes, there were attributes that helped them pave their way to success. I identified those attributes and I put them into order of importance. And that is how my guide to navigating success was born. We must embrace these attributes. First of all, we must always have integrity. If we do not have integrity, our success that has been built on dishonesty will eventually crumble down. Secondly, we must be ambitious and dream big. Richard Branson's quote in my book says, "If our dreams don't scare us, they are too small." Now, let's talk about Usiya Kolisi. How many of you know him? That's great. When people see Usiya Kolisi lifting the Rugby World Cup trophy twice in a row, they see a champion. What they often don't see is the journey that began with nothing else but ambition in one of South Africa's poorest communities. Usiya Kolisi was born eZwide. His family struggled with extreme poverty. There were days when food was scarce, and basic necessities that many people take for granted were not affordable to them. His mother died when he was young, leaving him to be raised largely by his grandmother. For many people growing up in those circumstances, dreams can seem distant when survival is the priority. But Usia developed something powerful: ambition. As a young boy, he discovered rugby through a local tavern, as there was no TV at home. He was not surrounded by elite facilities, expensive equipment, or influential connections. What he had was determination. Every time he stepped onto a rugby field, he saw an opportunity to create a different future for himself and his family. His talent earned him a scholarship to a prestigious school. Suddenly, he found himself in an environment completely different from the one he had known. Many students came from wealthier families, and he often felt out of place. At that point, many people might have given up. Instead, Usia worked harder. He understood that the scholarship was more than an education. It was a chance to change the direction of his life. Rather than allowing his background to limit him, he used it as motivation. The difficulties he faced became the fuel for his ambition. He wanted to prove that where you start does not determine where you finish. Years later, the same ambitious boy from Izwite became the first black captain of the Springboks and led South Africa to Rugby World Cup victory twice in a row. Let's give him a big round of applause. My third attribute is courage. We must have the courage to pursue our dreams, even if there's a possibility of failure. Robert Kennedy says that only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. I'm sure most of you know black coffee. He had the courage to pursue his dreams despite a tragic accident that left him with one functional hand. He had the courage to refuse to allow his circumstances to define his future. And now, he's one of the most successful DJs and music producers in the world. You see him performing on the biggest stages, winning international awards, traveling the world and inspiring millions of people. But what many people don't know is that his journey was not easy. As a young boy, Black Coffee was involved in an accident that left him with a permanent injury to his left. Many people would have used that challenge as an excuse to give up on their dreams. Many people would have allowed that setback to destroy their confidence. Many people would have said, my future has been taken away from me. But Black Coffee made a different choice. He chose courage. He chose to believe in himself. He chose to continue pursuing his dream despite the challenges he faced. And because he had the courage to keep going, he has become one of the most successful musicians Africa has ever produced. His story teaches us an important lesson. Courage is not about not having any challenges. Courage is continuing when challenges come. Courage is believing in yourself when circumstances or others doubt you. Courage is getting up after failure. Courage is refusing to give up on your dream, irrespective of the odds that are against you. Today, some of you may be facing challenges of your own. Maybe it is failure, maybe it is disappointment, maybe it is a lack of confidence. Maybe it is people who keep telling you that your dream is impossible. But I want you to remember Black Coffee. If he had focused on his limitations, the world would have never known his talent. Instead, he focused on his dream. And that is what I want you to do. Do not focus on what you have lost. Do not focus on what you lack. Focus on what is possible. Have the courage to keep moving forward. Have the courage to keep working. Have the courage to keep believing. Because your courage today may be the reason the world celebrates your success tomorrow. My fourth attribute is hard work. Everyone who is successful has worked hard, really, really hard. And there are no shortcuts to success. Les Brown warns us in his quote that if we do what is easy, our lives will be hard. But if we do what is hard, our lives will become easy. So let's choose hard work now for an easy future. My most favorite quote on hard work is on page 36, where Tom Coleman says, "Don't decrease your goal, increase your effort." Let's read it together on page 36. Are we all there? Are we all there? It says, "Don't decrease your goal, increase your effort." Many people become discouraged the moment they face failure, pressure, rejection, or challenges. They begin to lower their dreams and settle for less than what they originally wanted. But successful people think differently. When the dreams look unattainable, they do not shrink their goal. They increase their commitment. They increase their discipline. They increase their sacrifice. and they increase their effort. If your marks are low, don't decrease the goal, increase the effort. If the subject becomes difficult, don't decrease the goal, increase the effort. If your dream suddenly looks impossible, don't decrease the goal, increase the effort. Because greater achievements often require greater effort. And greatest achievements require the greatest effort. So, you must push harder, work smarter, stay disciplined, and double the effort. And always remember, don't decrease the goal, increase the effort. Can you decrease your goal? Can you decrease your goal? What must increase? Can you decrease your goal? What must increase? One last time with power. Can you decrease your goal? What must increase? Well done, guys. Give yourselves a big round of applause. My next attribute is on discipline. We must always be disciplined. Discipline is very critical because if you have it, the work that you do won't depend on how you feel. The result of not being disciplined is summed up by William Feather when he says, if we don't discipline ourselves, the world will do it for us. My sixth attribute is sacrifice. There are many distractions in life, and they are attractive enough to challenge your focus towards your goals. But we must always remember an anonymous quote that says, if we don't sacrifice for what we want will become the sacrifice. My seventh attribute is about perseverance. All roads that lead to success are tough. They have uphills, and in most cases, there are gravel roads. We need the strength to persevere. Edward Eggleston sums it up in his quote, which says, persistent people begin their success where others end in failure. So if we do not persevere, we might just give up at the doorstep of success. Many people are told to reach for the stars, but very few actually leave their name among them. Usiya Xuza did. Not because he never failed, but because he refused to quit. Growing up here in Mthatha, Usiya's fascination with flight began at the age of 5 when he watched an aeroplane fly ahead, dropping pamphlets during South Africa's first democratic elections in 1994. While most children simply watched the plane pass by, Usiya became curious. He wanted to know how such a massive machine could fly and what made it move through the sky. That simple question sparked a passion for science and engineering that would shape the rest of his life. Despite not having access to world-class laboratories or expensive equipment, Siya pursued his dream of building rockets by conducting experiments from his mother's kitchen and garage. The journey was anything but easy. Before achieving a successful launch, he experienced 77 failed attempts, some even resulting in explosions. Many people would have given up after 5 failures. Others might have stopped after 10, 20, or even 50. But Usia chose to keep going and found his success after 77 failed attempts. He refused to allow failure to determine his future. With every unsuccessful launch, he learned, he adapted, and tried again. Eventually, his persistence paid off when his rocket, the Phoenix, successfully launched and set a South African junior amateur altitude record. His achievements later earned him international recognition, a scholarship to Harvard University, and even the extraordinary honor of having an asteroid named after him. The asteroid is called 23182 Siyaxuza. It is located in the main asteroid belt and takes about 4 years to orbit the Sun. Siyaxuza's story shows that resilience is not about where you start or how many times you fail. It is about having the determination to keep moving forward when others would have given up. So, ladies and gentlemen, future leaders of our economy, a boy from here, Mthatha, looked up at the sky and dreamt about rockets. Years later, an asteroid carries his name across the solar system. Usia teaches us never to underestimate where self-belief, despite failures, can take each and every one of you. My 8th attribute, which gets underestimated all the time, is our image. We must constantly present an image of success. Zig Ziglar sums it all up by saying, "We cannot climb the ladder of success with the costume of failure." My 9th attribute is success. This is now when you would have achieved that goal that you've been working so very hard for. But here's a big surprise. Les Brown says that you don't own that success, but you're renting it, and the rent is due every day. So every day you need to ask yourself, how am I paying my rent? In other words, in order to maintain your level 7 in any subject, you need to ask yourself, what am I doing every day to make sure I stay at that level 7? My last attribute is resilience. For us to be able to bounce back, Barack Obama says, "You can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. And even though the Japanese proverb says, fall down 7 times, get up 8, Usiya fell down 77 times and he got up 78 times. Let us learn from him and let's give him a big round of applause. We need to learn from our mistakes and always bounce back against all odds. Now, please turn to page 10 of my book so we can understand the full guide to navigating success. I would like you to call out the attributes when I ask for the number. Are we all on page 10? All right. What is attribute number 1? Number 2? Number 3? Number 4? Number 5? Number 6? Number 7? Number 8? Number 9? Number 10. Well done, guys. Please give yourselves a big round of applause. There is also a bonus chapter in my book that contains powerful, just life skills. Please refer to that chapter to give yourself motivation and inspiration always. Lastly, let us now understand success. Success is never a straight line. As you battle, as you fail, please believe me when I tell you, you are on the road to success. Your current situation is not your final destination. Some of the world's greatest people failed many times before becoming successful. There is a quote in my book that explains what made them to persist and succeed. It says, "The road to success is not straight. There is a curve called failure, a loop called confusion, speed bumps called friends, red lights called enemies, caution lights called family, and you will have flat tires called jobs. But if you have a spare called determination, an engine called perseverance, and a driver called willpower, you will make it to the place called success." In closing, let me tell you about Dr. Olwethu Waka, who has proven the reality of this poem. Dr. Olwethu Waka grew up in Nontshinga village, Kucendane, under humble beginnings. When he was in grade 10, he failed mathematics with 30%. Many people would have looked at that result and concluded that mathematics was not for him. But Dr. Waka refused to allow this failure to define his future. He worked harder. He persevered. He continued believing in himself. By grade 12, he had improved from 30% to 89% in mathematics. But he didn't stop there. Despite failing his first year at Walter Sisulu University and taking a gap year, he rose up again and went on to study mathematics, completed his honors degree, obtained a master's degree with a distinction, and in 2024, he graduated with a PhD in pure mathematics from the University of Cape Town. I mean, think about that for a moment. A learner who once failed mathematics with 30% in grade 10 became Dr. Olwethu Waka with a PhD in pure mathematics. His story teaches us that a poor mark is not your destiny. A failure is not your future. A setback is not the end of your journey. The difference between where you are today and where you can be tomorrow is often deepened and protected self-belief. If he had given up after getting 30%, he would have never became Dr. Olwethu Waka. That is why I say to you, do not let your current circumstances define your future. Only allow your deepened self-belief to determine your future. Back to the success poem. Dr. Olwethu Waka had a spare called determination, an engine called perseverance, and a driver called willpower. Seeing how the success poem has been proven true by Dr. Olwethu Waka, let us embrace it and apply it in our daily lives. Due to its significance, can we please all stand up proudly and confidently? And can we turn to the very last page of my book? I want us to read the success poem together with belief and courage. The very last page. Are we all there? Are we ready? It says, the road to success is not straight. There's a curve called failure, a loop called confusion, speed bumps called friends, red lights called enemies, caution lights called family, and we'll have flat tires called jobs. But you have a spare called determination, an engine called perseverance, and a driver named willpower. You will make it to a place called success. Give yourselves a big round of applause. You can sit down. Now, are you motivated and inspired? Have I injected self-belief in you? From now on, you have a responsibility to deepen your self-belief. Dream bigger. Work the hardest. Persevere. Succeed, and continuously protect your self-belief against all possible attacks. I will see you at the Self-Belief and Success 7-kilometer commitment walk tomorrow morning. Please register as space is limited. Thank you so much.